Hello, Michelle. Here's my voice. I still sound like a teenage girl, unfortunately. Hello, Michelle Sullivan? Sorry if I mispronounced your name. Thanks for dropping by. Ah, thanks. I didn't have. This is like the little VTuber PNG thing. Of course, I don't have one for my character at the moment, so I just ended up finding a Sonic Tamagotchi sprite. Yeah, it took like hours to first of all find a stream overlay that I liked, and then trying to set it up. I haven't touched streaming in like since the beginning of 2001 or 2021. And there was like so many new updates that I just like I have no idea what anything does anymore. Trying to find a good liner for this specific character sheet.
I don't wanna talk, but now just leave me all alone. Wanna stay away from people, but I still stare at my phone. Wish that I could make all the scary thoughts just go away. Figure maybe if I did a nap, this time you would've stayed. I don't know how, nor I know why, but being next to you makes me feel so alive. Come back and fix this, you're all that I lack. My mind is now blue, but it's becoming black. What's left of us sitting in my room alone again, talking to the loneliness, my only friend. I can't even go outside, cause everything reminds me of us, and I don't know why. But every time that I pass that place, the truth's the only thing that I cannot face. But then it doesn't hurt and I can't replace you.
Ah, so I believe, and I hope it's like showing up on stream. In the corner, there should say the song name. So it's All Alone by Solus. Yeah, I'm just playing some sad lofi on my Spotify. Lofi tracks are the safest thing for me to play when I'm live streaming. Less likely of getting copyright striked. Oh, you can hear the birds. They're unavoidable. I have two parakeets. More concerned about the fan. I don't think I have the best of microphones. Oh, hey. Wow, elementary school. Well, congrats being in college. Oh, thank you for still watching my stuff. Yeah, it's my career at this point. New or old, I welcome all followers. I've been on social medias for a very, very long time. So yeah, I sometimes have fans, I guess, or followers, that've been watching me since I was on DeviantArt, which was like 11, 12 years ago. And that's pretty crazy to me, because I don't know how anyone stuck through me through all my fandom phases. I had quite a bit of those. Oh yeah, I don't blame anyone for leaving Tumblr. I mean, we had the big exodus um, a year ago, 2 years. I can't remember at this point. Um, so yeah, the site. Honestly, I enjoy it. It's a little bit more quiet. Um, People say Tumblr's dead. I don't think it's dead per se. It's just more of a quiet place, social media place. There's still, of course, a bunch of weird stuff on there. There always is. Um, but it seems like most of the drama moved on to Twitter, and now Twitter's on fire. Though the big Tumblr exodus at the time was actually quite panicking because I had all my eggs in Tumblr. Basically, I had all my eggs in the same basket, and if Tumblr went down, I would be like very screwed. So that's when I started to open up a bunch of other social medias, and now I'm like pretty much everywhere. but it also got me desensitized. Like the whole Twitter burning because of the $8 a month subscription service, which is really dumb. I'm not surprised, and I'm no longer phased when social medias do this. So far, every other like social media I've tried to go to has ended up burning me. So I originally left DeviantArt because at the time the site was really outdated and falling behind. So I left DeviantArt, joined Tumblr. Eventually, Tumblr also, you know, lost a bunch of traction. Joined Instagram, but then Instagram changed the algorithm to favor videos, or it basically killed any sort of traction in artists posting their work on there, and wanted to follow the whole TikTok trend, short video trend. And I really didn't like TikTok, and I don't like making videos. And then I was I was literally just about, maybe Twitter. I don't like Twitter for the fact that it's just very toxic on there, but for sharing and posting and like being in touch with professionals or old people that I worked with, it's useful. And I was just on the verge of being like, oh, that's cool. I could make like Twitter my second platform, just like I have like with Tumblr. And then this whole happened, and I'm just like, I give up. I'm just gonna try my best and just do my own thing, and whatever happens, happens. I feel like a lot of artists put a bit too much weight onto social media. It helps, and of course it depends on what you're doing. If you're running like an Etsy shop, then obviously you need to promote it and you need people to see your work, etc. And same thing if you're doing commissions. But if you're trying to get into the industry or already in the industry, it honestly doesn't matter that much. Yeah, it's already pretty difficult to build any sort of platform when you're an artist into, it's just, I don't know. How do I explain this? Growing a social media platform is difficult nowadays. Like I said, I've been on social media since it started, a little bit after it started. I wasn't there on MySpace, but I was there a little bit afterwards. And it was a lot easier to get noticed back then. There was less competition, and the algorithms weren't so biased, I guess. That's a good way to put it. Nowadays, if you want to grow big as any sort of animation or animator or artist, social media artist, you have to like post pretty much every day, which is impossible without burnout. And you have to do a bunch of trend hops, which I used to do. It's not fun, so that's kind of like doing all the TikTok memes and producing those in a very fast manner, so the trends die off really quickly. So you have to make sure that whatever you're drawing or animating is still relevant within a short amount of time. There's also like you have to do like the little funny videos. Fandoms is a big thing, and it becomes years of work and not really building an actual audience that likes what you actually like to do. They only like that you're following these trends. And I used to do that with fandoms. Used to follow like the most popular fandoms, draw a bunch of work related to that fandom, gain followers, etc. And then, well, eventually I would leave the fandom, and some of the followers would stick around, others would leave. Because obviously, if you're not drawing their favorite characters anymore, you find out quickly that they didn't actually care about your work. They cared that you were just drawing their favorite character. And when you stop doing that, they leave. And so in the long term, it doesn't, it's not very good to only follow trends and not express what you actually want to do, build an audience that, granted, is smaller, but actually will support you once you move on to different topics. I remember this from an artist on Tumblr that I follow, and I believe she is a background artist on like Rick and Morty and a whole bunch of other shows, maybe Gravity Falls. I don't remember, but her niche is her actual like personal work that doesn't relate to the industry is horror based, and so she has a very unique style in horror and making digital art look traditional with textures and painting. And I remember her saying specifically, it is a lot better to form an audience around a genre or a niche than to try to form it around something very specific. And what that means basically is, for example, horror. If you really like horror, and horror is like a big thing, you can draw anything as long as it's like a little bit spooky, has certain elements, if can be different fandoms, be different projects, different characters, etc. That's sort of a genre and a niche. Horror isn't super popular. I mean, yes, people like horror, but I don't think it's extremely marketable because it's quite rare to see sometimes in media or popular media. I don't know how to describe it, but the best way I can say is like, how many horror animes have you seen? Count them on your hand. There's not that many compared to isekais. So that's sort of like a niche, is to figure out a more smaller subset of group that you can be a part of. It's the same thing with furries. The reason why furries spend so much money on commissions and artwork is because it's not widely accepted, widely popularized. So for them to they're willing to support people who draw work for their community, their smaller community. And I say smaller relatively because furries have become quite big, and I'm not sure if they will eventually go mainstream or not. But it used to be a really small niche community. So anyways, back to the point. If you draw just for a one fandom, let's say like I used to only, like, if you only draw Five Nights at Freddy stuff because that was super popular, and yeah, you get a bunch of like mostly kid fans because of that. That's great and all, but eventually you're gonna get bored and you're gonna want to do something else, and when you do something else, you're gonna lose a big chunk of your audience who don't care. Compared to if you just like horror, and so you start building an audience that watches you because of your horror content, then it doesn't matter what property you do, what concept you do, as long as it relates to horror, which is a more broader subject. And that can go for pretty much anything. If you like drawing really cutesy stuff, then all you have to do is continue keeping that same cutesy art style, and you can continue to retain your fans. The way I can put it is, if you have a very specific, those extreme professional illustrators who draw exclusively in an anime art style, they do it extremely well. As long as they keep drawing like that, they're gonna still have their audience. As long as they don't make like a huge transition to, I'm now gonna draw like Adventure Time. That's all my work. My whole work is gonna be in the Adventure Time style. Yeah, as long as they don't do that, they're still gonna hold on to the majority of their audience member because it's such a broad subject. Yeah, I have heard a lot of of course, every artist, it's like a running joke, Ella, to, if you're poor, if you need money, just draw furry stuff and you'll get a ton of money. I don't know whether that's true or not. Of course, like I said, niche communities, and especially niche not safe for work, will always run a pretty penny, but of course you have to draw some unpleasant things. And if that's not what you like doing, then you're going to be miserable. Furries kind of remind me of like D&D, because if you don't know, I got into a D&D craze for the past 2 years, I believe. I'm getting out of it because I feel like it stunted my not my professional, my personal growth. Because D&D is kind of like a fandom. It's a very weird fandom. It's like a fandom that you and your friends make. And so I feel like it stunted my creative growth. So I'm getting out of it a bit to start working on new projects. But yeah, that community also used to be super niche, and I have been paid quite well from D&D players who wish to have a character sheet, or most important, an animation of their group, of their campaign. So I met some really nice people. They pay me quite well to specifically animate stuff for D&D players. But it also is kind of mainstream in a weird way because of Critical Role. And I don't know if you can say, I think pretty much D&D has gone mainstream, if I believe it. I mean, they're making like a big budget movie about it. I don't think they'll make a big budget movie about furries anytime soon. I think part of that is because furries do have a very weird, unsavory connotation with them that will always be there, and big companies don't want anything to do with that. It is a liability. And I should say I have nothing against furries. I draw furry work as well. I don't know if you can consider drawing it exactly furry work. I guess it would be anthropomorphic. Yeah, let's go with that. Anthropomorphic stuff. And I have only had very pleasant conversations with furries in my time. They were really nice to me. So I don't have anything. Of course, there's the weird ones. There's always going to be the weird ones. I'm an anime fan as well, and I've been in anime communities for a long time. I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't watch anime anymore as much, but when I was younger, definitely. And just like furries, the community also has its weird, very unsavory characters that we don't celebrate or talk about. But I think with every community, you're always going to have your weird ones. I mean, even with D&D, you have the weird neckbeards that are just around, not allowing female players to enjoy themselves. Yeah, I suppose this is a strange tangent, but it all has to do with fandoms. Social media just has been such a big topic. The whole Twitter thing. And, well, since I finished my job at webtoons. I haven't really touched my social media in like 3 years or so. So I now have to go back, or at least I'm currently going back and trying to see where things need improvement, fixing broken links, fixing tags, and I forgot how much of a hassle everything was. I think my favorite part of social media is just talking to people or getting people to, obviously notice and comment on your work, etc. But managing it is so not fun. I don't know if I've seen anyone who actually enjoys managing and posting on social media. It's just extremely stressful. And of course, there's not just one social media. If I post on my Tumblr, I also have to post on my Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and then update my stuff on Patreon. So it becomes all these other things that you have to juggle, and all the algorithms are different for each site. Um, I tried TikTok for a bit. Didn't work out really because I didn't understand. I didn't like the idea that you only had to make, or you could only make animations with the songs that they were approved by TikTok. So basically, I understand that TikTok is just repeating the same joke over and over again, and so everyone's doing like their own variation of the same concept. At first, I found it amusing, but at some point, I just found it very boring, and I didn't want to be. I didn't want to do that as well. Animation already takes a very, very long time. The last thing I wanted was to make animation that was not, I guess, unique. I mean, no work is really unique, but just not a copy of something that's already out there.
You've been up all night, 'cause I've been too. You've been trying to fight, just like I do. You've been losing sight,
Now that is the double-edged sword, the cry of artists all around the world for years. That, yeah, the work that you really care about, or sometimes the work that you really care about, doesn't get any views compared to stuff that you just didn't really put that much work or passion into it. And uh, that can be said for the real world as well, quote unquote, the real world, when you get into art as a profession. Yeah, sometimes the stuff that you're really passionate about, then it just gets thrown away and you have to do something that the company wants. It's normal. It sucks, but it's sort of how things go. I definitely stopped trying as hard in social media. I used to be like glued to the screen, the numbers. Um, back in the day in Tumblr, I guess around college time. Yeah, around college time, a little bit before that. I would get upset if a post didn't reach like 1,000 notes or 2,000 notes, etc. Like I had it like a quota for every post, and when the post didn't reach that number, which is an arbitrary number, it really didn't mean anything at the end of the day. I would just get really like, oh, this sucks. I didn't do good enough. I need to do better. And it really made you stop appreciating your work, and Uh, you, I feel like this is where people lose their passion for art because you start equating your worth to numbers that are completely out of your control. Let's be honest here. Um, and I feel like this goes for anybody who's just on social media, on any sort of platform. That sort of mentality to have is extremely toxic to your own growth and self-value as someone who's also been through that. The numbers are never enough. It didn't matter if I got 1,000 notes, 2,000 notes, sometimes 11,000 notes. I always wanted more. I never. It's not like you sit there and appreciate what you did. You'd be like, oh, I did this. Okay, how can I do it again? And it becomes like this cycle of addiction and abuse, self abuse. And around the time I went into college, I didn't really have a lot of time for social media. I wanted to get into the industry. And like I said, social media isn't entirely necessary for the industry. It doesn't always matter how much likes you have on a post. See, social media, like people who are successful in their selective industry don't have time to sit there and fiddle with Instagram numbers, you know? They have shows to direct and concept art to work and shows to animate. Yes, some of them are popular and have quite a bit of numbers, but I've seen plenty of art directors who are just have sit at 1,000, 2,000 followers. It doesn't matter, but they're really good at what they do. That's that's why they get hired. So when I realized that for college, I was just like, why am I spending so much time worrying and doing something that isn't improving my craft, my actual craft, the stuff that's gonna get me hired? So I stopped. And I stopped caring about the numbers, stopped caring how much I posted, uh, what I posted. That was a huge one. Like I said, you got a trend hop, so I was doing trends and so much like, oh, are people gonna like this? People are not gonna like this. I just stopped caring. I did stuff that I knew was going to help me out in the long run. Stuff for my concept portfolio, stuff and exercises that would help me grow as an artist, not necessarily my platform. And I managed, to gain followers and retain people just by showing them my progress. I stopped doing fan stuff, fandoms. I quit. I won't. I won't. I won't ever really go back to that. D&D is the closest thing to a fandom that I am in. But I guess that's more of a community if you want to get technical about it. Yeah, I guess the biggest advice I could give to like young artists or artists who want to do social media is to like really not care about the numbers too much unless you're going to do that full time, which I definitely wouldn't recommend anybody do social media full time without some backup, some solid plan. It seems like a bad idea. It reminds me of people are who are just starting out, being like, I want to become a YouTuber and I'm going to make it as a YouTuber, even though they're a newbie and they don't have any sort of backup plan. That's very, very scary and extremely naive, if not optimistic. I know YouTube is a very not forgiving platform. Of course, I know I've been here for I don't know how many years at this point. Got my one hit wonder, which was my Undertow video, which sits like at over 500,000 views. No, 1.5 million views. Which is kind. Uh, I keep it up for the purpose of. It was one of my first animations, and I've grown a long way since then. So I keep it up for record keeping purposes. Like, oh, look how far I've come. But it's really funny to see it have that many views, and then my newest animation can barely break 1,000. Which I'm not like bitter about it or upset. It is what it is. I have no idea how the YouTube algorithm works. It's a mystery. So whatever it decides to push, I can only make assumptions. My stuff that has to do with like recognizable songs, because most of my stuff is music video based, but recognizable songs, trendy songs, or TikTok memes, that stuff gets seen and pushed, but anything that's original doesn't. Yeah, so I gained a huge following due to my Undertale fandom. Generally, one of my more pleasant fandom experiences. Like I said, I've been in many fandoms since I've been on the internet for quite a while. Undertale, I got into it when I was a freshman in college, maybe. Yeah, I think so. I was a freshman in college, um, or senior in high school, around there. And I ended up, um, I guess since I was more of an adult, I didn't encounter, or yeah, I didn't encounter the less savory sides of fandoms because I refused to be a part of it, and because of that, it was more fun, and also since my artwork was better than it was in high school and middle school, I ended up gaining more people who noticed my stuff because of it. So yeah, it's more of a fond time. It was the time that my last fandom basically. I was heading into adulthood, and that's when I realized that hey, I probably shouldn't do fandom work anymore. I need to do original content so I can show off my portfolio stuff, etc. If you want to know about my least favorite fandom, and I was quite young when I was in it, so I can tell you all of my fandoms throughout my life. We're gonna go from the very first one on DeviantArt. It was Sonic the Hedgehog, and then it was Adventure Time. It was Sonic the Hedgehog, Adventure Time, and then I moved to Tumblr, and it was Homestuck. It was Homestuck, and what happened after Homestuck? I think it was Attack on Titan after Homestuck. Soul Eater is in there somewhere. I never really grew out of my Soul Eater phase. Soul Eater was the one that inspired me to draw in the first place. But yeah, Soul Eater is in there somewhere. And then after Attack on Titan, I think it was the Onceler. I know, it was the Onceler. I was one of those. Very regrettable. And then it was Gravity Falls, also quite embarrassing. And then after Gravity Falls, it was Voltron. Yeah, that didn't last too long because I liked the first season of Voltron, and then I fell off afterwards because I was only doing it because it was popular. I didn't really actually like it. And then it was Undertale. And I ended up really loving Undertale a lot. I was really pleasantly surprised by the graphics uh, and the art direction, and Undertale became my last fandom before I quit. Yeah, Homestuck was a weird one. I only was in it because I liked the trolls. I liked the way they were designed and I thought that was cool. Other than that, I didn't understand the comic whatsoever and like I didn't vibe with the really weird humor in it. It Homestuck has a very specific type of humor that is reminiscent of like forums, and I never was into that, so I didn't understand. I think I was in middle school when I was in Homestuck. Yeah, I only cared about the trolls, specifically Carcat. He was my favorite. And I would never reread it. I almost. I remember being the beginning of Homestuck was horrible for me to read. It was I just not interested whatsoever, and I was bored out of my mind. I would say the animations are cute. I enjoyed Homestuck for being a one of the few, if not only, examples of what I like to do with stories, which is to have multi like what is it called, multimedia form, multimedia a multimedia story. Basically, it's told not just in comic book form; it's told in illustrations and novels and animations, which I find really cool and really rare. Most artists just stick with comic books and eventually abandon them because, let's be honest, comic books is really hard to do. It's not very, you're not getting paid for it. It's a lot of work. It's very monotonous because you're just doing the same exact layout over and over again. So eventually you just get bored, you don't want to do it anymore, then you resent your work, and then you give up and just hope nobody ever talks about it again. I understand why, because I've been there many times. But I'm still sad about it because a lot of comics that I really loved are just discontinued forever. The artist got bored, or became a professional, and when you're a professional, you don't have time for anything really. I know when I joined Webtoons, I couldn't really update Skull Kids anymore. One webcomic was enough for me, but at least I was getting paid for this one. So Skull Kids took a back burner, and I never got back into it. I did make a pitch for it. I'll probably release that sometime next year. Pitching stuff is always tricky. There's a lot of different factors to why a publisher will not be interested in what you are offering them. I do have a lot of respect for people who continue to do that. I know there's a lot of people in the animation um, industry specifically that just make pitches non-stop to pitch to animation directors or studios, and 95% of the time you're just going to get rejected, and if you're lucky enough you'll get in and then you get canceled. And for them to essentially have all that work gone and being able to get back up and do it all over again, I have no idea how they do that. Honestly, to do that over and over again, I could never. I'm perfectly fine with working on someone else's series. But for me to continue pitching stuff non-stop with the possibility, or I guess the more likelihood that you're going to get rejected every time. That is so crushing. I couldn't do that. I'm pretty strong, but I don't think I have the skin for that one. Well, I guess on the topic I'll talk about webtoons. Yep, if you didn't know, um, I was a webtoon artist for almost 3 years. I did the series called Fluidium. I just finished that in October, and now I'm looking for work elsewhere. Working for webtoons was very interesting. It was a big learning curve. Keeping up with the demand. I wasn't familiar with how to do that on the first place. I basically came from a traditional comic book background. You know, the 5-6 panel pages. Nothing too crazy. And to go from that to, hey, we need 60 panels a week sort of thing, with multiple characters, etc., and backgrounds all fully colored, good luck. It was a huge learning curve. I had to change so much of my workflow. I had to learn how to use models effectively. I never used models. I never used to use 3D models for anything. I was a snob. So I thought that using 3D models was beneath me. In a sense, I could, instead of using 3D models for backgrounds, I could draw it and I could improve. And yes, that is a good mentality to have. If you want to learn how to draw backgrounds, you have to draw them. You just can't use 3D models for everything. But when you're in a production and they don't really care that you're hand drawing everything, they want it done at a pace that would not be reasonable if you were drawing everything by hand, then you sort of have to cut corners, and you have to cut corners everywhere. Everywhere. Anything, anywhere that can have a corner cut, you shall cut it. I basically use 3D models for all the characters, I use 3D models for all the props, I use 3D models for all the backgrounds. I never drew anything by hand. Except for the sketches. But yes, if I could avoid it, I would generally avoid drawing it because it was so much, and it would not be, I mean, you just wouldn't make the deadlines if you decided to draw everything by hand. That is crazy to me. So yes, I do see the ignorance of people who aren't in the field, specifically saying two things. Either, you use references, you're cheating, you shouldn't use references, that's not allowed. That's extremely stupid. And I'll tell you why in a moment. But the people who read webtoons and are just like, hey, these look cheap, the models look crappy, the backgrounds are too flat. Also, where is my next 100 panel update? I need it now. Yeah, it's not possible to make everything super nice like you would buy in a traditional comic book that you get in stores, and have that same quality translated into a webtoon. It's just not possible. You're gonna kill someone. I didn't use models for a few times at the beginning of the webtoon, and it was horrible. I was in so much pain from the long hours that I had to work because I didn't understand that using models wasn't an option, it was a necessity. You needed to use models. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. You need to use something to cut corners, whether it's photographs or 3D models. Pick one. Use both. Doesn't matter. But you can't just sit there and draw everything because you're not going to survive. You're not going to do it. It's just not going to happen. And the same thing goes for references. The legality of it is a little bit weird. But if you don't know, before I did, I guess my career right now is comics and animation. Before that, I studied to be a concept artist in college. And in the concept art world, it is basically a shit ton of theft. Straight up theft. If you ever look it up, photo bashing, you take people's photos, you collage them together, and you paint over it, and you deliver that as your work, and you do that repeatedly, because of course in these I'm talking about traditional concept work, which is borderline photorealism stuff for video games. You need to deliver that stuff so quickly. There's just not enough time for you to sit there and paint a Renaissance painting. So what do? You take photographs, or you get them off the internet and you put them together, and then you deliver that to your boss, and you do it for the next one, and the next one, and the next one. I don't think... Well, I know for sure if you're trying to be a purist in the concept art work, you're definitely not going to make it. The industry is always going to be a balance between quantity and quality. Sometimes it is more quantity, depending on the budget and who you're working with. So, and an example could be if you're paying for something to be done, if you're paying for a large quantity of work, but you need it done quickly, but you're also not paying enough for it to be done with precision, then don't sit there and do it with precision, do it quickly. And the client will still be happy, because the client isn't looking for perfection, they're looking for something to get done in an acceptable manner. They're not looking for your next magnum opus pieces perfection. It's just like, hey, I need these designs for this tank. I need 10 designs for this tank. I need it done by the end of the month. Here's like $10 and Reese's Pieces wrapper. Good luck. So yeah, the same thing works here too. I guess a good example is the commission. This is a commission I'm working on. It's a big one, and this is one that's paid extremely well, with no time limit for the work. So the client is looking for detail and precision, and they're willing to pay for that. And so if I were to rush it in the way that I do stuff for webtoons, for example, they would not be happy. And because I paid for your time and effort, I wanted something to be pretty, not just done. Compared to webtoons, who they want something to look more acceptable, but they want it done. They don't want me to take a month to finish it. They need it done in a week. So that's a different subset of rules for each client. And of course, you always have generally the unrealistic clients who want everything done perfectly but without paying you or giving you enough time, generally don't. I don't work with those people. And if I do, I never work with them again. There's always going to be people who try to squeeze you for everything you have by giving you the least amount of money. Um, I say, screw them. If you're giving me the bare minimum, I'm going to do the bare minimum. You're not going to get anything out of me. I'm having trouble with this other eye. Isn't it? It's always the other eye that gives me issues. Yeah, sorry for the black screen. Every time I try to move my line work in vector layers, um, my computer has a fart moment. Continue to work on the face.
She said, I don't wanna fall if you're not gon' catch me. I don't wanna fall if you're not gon' catch me. I don't wanna fall if you're not gon' catch me. I don't wanna fall if you're not gon' catch me. I don't wanna fall if you're not gon' catch me. I don't wanna fall if you're not gon' catch me. Don't try to lead me on if you're not gon' catch me. Make me fall in love, but you're not gon' catch me. Always lead me on, but you're not gon' catch me. Always lead me on, but you're not gon' catch me. I don't wanna
took out a lot of stuff to eat. I mean, if you do, you don't have to. I mean, yeah, if you do, you don't have to eat out tomorrow. Food. Something doesn't look good, I guess just delete it and do it all over again. Well, if you don't pack lunch, what are you gonna eat instead? sauce. We should probably eat some of that before it goes bad. BRB. Going to pee break.
Is it too much to ask for? Yeah. Can I put my lips on your skin, babe? Much to ask for? Yeah. Can I put my? Is it too much to ask for? Yeah. Can I put my lips on your skin, babe? Much to ask for? Can I put my? Is it too much to ask for? Yeah. Can I put my lips on your skin, babe? Much to ask for? Yeah. Can I put my? Is it too much to ask for? Lips on your skin, babe. Much to ask for? Yeah. Can I put my? Is it too much to ask for? Yeah. Can I put my lips on your skin, babe? Much to ask
Good night, Ella. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest.
It's what shows up on the surface that counts. Take all your bad feelings and push them down, all the way down. And then you'll fit in. I take it all back. Always be yourself. You want to be sad, honey? Be sad.
Welcome back, Michelle. And you just have chill vibes going on. Hope to see you again soon.
I want to hear you say that you don't love me. Because if you say that, then I won't call you. And I won't be in your life.
Nobody knows you like I do. Nobody feels the way I do. You're the only one that I can trust. You're the one who found me when I was lost. Better things are yet to come. I'll be waiting with you. Mm. She'd take the world off my shoulders if it was ever hard to move. She turned the rain to a rainbow when I was living in the blue. Why then, if she's so perfect, do I still wish that it was you? Perfect don't mean that it's working, so what can I do when you're outside in my mind? 'Cause sometimes I look in her eyes and that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Said I'm fine and said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. Tell me, save us your glory. Does he laugh the way I did? Is this a part of your story, one that I had never lived? Maybe one day you feel lonely, and in his eyes you'll get a glimpse. Maybe you'll start slipping slowly and find me again when you're outside in my mind. 'Cause sometimes I look in her eyes and that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Said I'm fine and said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. 'Cause sometimes I look in her eyes and that's where I find a glimpse of us. And I try to fall for her touch, but I'm thinking of the way it was. Said I'm fine and said I moved on. I'm only here passing time in her arms, hoping I'll find a glimpse of us. Too many things we did together. You used to promise me it would be forever. Feeling like the end, don't think it will get better, baby. Too many things we did together. You used to promise me it would be forever. Feeling like the end, don't think it will get better, baby. Please calm down so we can get up. I've waited too long to get your voice out of my head. Out of my head. Feels like home, I'm covered in stone. I know you'll think twice, I'm waiting by the window, babe. Window, babe. Too many things we did together. You used to promise me it would be forever.
saying it's a lot later than I thought it was. For some reason, I still think it's like 2. It's like nearly gonna be 5 already. I was hoping to finish this page, but I guess I only finished. Or at least I should finish one part of her.
What you wanna hear? Things changing course. Smiles fade to grin. Now the moment's gone, just as I feared. And I was hoping this time. No longer here, we were feeling bliss. Don't hold your tongue, there's no time for tricks. You've been closing up, I expected this, but I was hoping you'd stay open this time. I know it won't be long. I know you're almost gone. Hold on, let me in before the day is over. Just let me in before the day is over. Say something soon, we might lose it all. Something we can use to break our fall. There's nothing left to do when we start to stall. And I was hoping that we could hold it this time. I know it won't be long. I know you're almost gone. Hold on, let me in before the day is over. Just let me in before the day is over. Let me in. Let me in. Just let me in before the day is over. Let me in. Let me in. Just let me in before the day is over. Let me in. Let me in. Just let me in before the day is over. It's so hard just being me sometimes. I wish I could escape out my mind. Got too many situations, complicating things. I run out of time. I know I haven't turned the corner. Please don't leave me behind. Who the hell am I to think that you're my angel from above? It's not right. Who are we? Who have we become? Are we counting sheep until we dissolve? It's a painful situation. Do you feel complacent on the outside. It's so close that I can taste it, begging you to chase it. God knows I tried. You got the life you always wanted. Please don't leave me behind. Quite some time has passed, it fell right through my fingertips. I still look alright. Who are we? Who have we become? Are we counting sheep until we dissolve? Who are we? Who have we become? Are we counting sheep until we dissolve? Tell me how you wake up, I just wanna wake up. UFO again, doesn't matter what it takes up. Crazy in the dome, baby, can I get a heads up? Go, they try to break us, go, they try to break us. Wanna get away, would you tell me your location? Feels like yesterday, I remember I would stay up. Baby, can you say some? Wanna feel sensation, promise you I'll never get numb, I'm too precious.
I'm too precious. I'm too precious. I'm too precious. I'm too precious.
Forever and ever, fully blazing. I don't remember no better days. You know I'm waiting just whenever, just whatever. Burning, forever and ever, fully blazing. I don't remember no better days. You know I'm waiting just whenever, just whatever. I can make you feel it closer, baby, one more time. I can really feel you closing when I stayed outside. I love, no matter how much they take. Something tells me we were chosen, so we keep on trying.
Wait, you consumed the good zucchini or the bad zucchini?
Surrounded by strangers, when I hear your voice, I'm in too deep, feeling undone. I can't be the only one. I wanna be forever young.
The good zucchini. That's good. You won't have a tummy ache again.
We got here just in time. Don't get lost in this life. Levitate, levitate, like an atom separate. Elaborate, elaborate. Been a long time, I can see it on the paint. I can see it on the paint. I can see it on the paint. And my eyes get low in that all-white truck. I can barely see shit. And my eyes get low in that all-white truck. I can barely see. Well, I might be. And I overflow like mercury, glowing with uncertainty. Circles at the chevron. I might be forever gone. And my eyes get low in that all-white truck. I can barely see shit. Hit the gas like you wouldn't believe it. Thank God I was always healing. In a time so slow, I was thinking about us, rearranging pieces, speeding up on that all-black demon. Going west, I don't got no reasons. I was throwing stones at Hercules, throwing them so perfectly. Circles at the chevron. I can't be forever young. Quiet, operated from above. My voice will be their voice until I'm free. My hands will be their hands until I'm free. You know you can make it, you can't make it alone. You know you can make it, you can't make it alone. I've been writing letters on the wall. I hope one day you'll see them all, and that you're not alone. I've been playing memories in my mind, wishing you were there like all the time, so I'm not alone. I'm tired of this madness, tired of being stranded. I don't wanna be alone.
You might want to call them for that. Sometimes they forget.
Tired of this madness, tired of being stranded. I don't wanna be alone.
Ah, yes, I finally finished the character. Or at least one side of her. So now I have to work on the other side. It's already 5, so I don't know if I'll wrap up soon.
What do you love most about Samantha?
Oh God, she's so many things. I guess that's what I love most about her. You know, she isn't just one thing. So much.
Michelle. Oh wait, Mushi. Sorry. You have the same name as my roommate. So I ate breakfast, and I ate a protein shake, which are disgusting, and I tried to make it taste better by adding coffee in it. I don't think I'm hungry yet. I think I can go off a little bit longer. Oh, I had another little good news today. I think yesterday I was telling you that DeviantArt gave me like a free core membership. So I was like talking to them briefly on Twitter. So the person I was originally talking to gave me a nice message and followed me back. I wasn't sure if they remembered me, actually. It's been 3 years, 4 years? Squint? What did work? Maybe add a banana. Oh, I don't have bananas. it sort of worked, but unfortunately the protein shakes that I got, they have that weird artificial sugar taste. They taste like Splenda, and there's nothing I can do to mask it. Yeah, I don't know, at this point I'll have to try some protein powder, because the core protein shakes are too expensive. Thank you, Mariah. Yeah, I was talking to someone that I briefly worked with at a convention, and they were being sponsored by DeviantArt, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And DeviantArt, I guess, noticed that I talked to them, and we're like, oh, here, have free membership. And I'm like, thanks, DeviantArt. Yeah, people, every now and then I get a free membership off DeviantArt, and I have no idea why. Only recently have I started posting there again. It's been like a year or two. It was back on my radar since people are leaving Twitter, and they're just like, go back on DeviantArt. People have like their gripes with the website changing, but I actually really like the new website. I originally left because I didn't like the outdated design that they had back when it was green and still looked like a forum. Very early 2000s. But they changed everything, and now it kind of reminds me of ArtStation, and so I've been posting only my finished work on there, my best in finished illustrations. Unfortunately, I don't think they allow GIFs, and if they do, it's a little bit cumbersome to post them. I haven't checked in a while, but so I don't post my animations on there. Yeah, like back when they had the really grungy green, earth green. I don't know if it was earth green. It was like a dull green, and everything looked very retro. They had like it looked more like a forum and clunky. It looked really clunky. Uh, so I ended up leaving because I just couldn't. The interface was just very annoying to use compared to, like, if you post on Tumblr, you just post something, but back in the day in DeviantArt you had to go through all these menus, and tagging was either non-existent. I don't think it was existent. I don't think there was any tags. There was categories, so you had to post your art on categories. And with the whole new boom of social media, that style of posting didn't exist anymore. Yeah, it still has the green on there. They have the retro theme colors, but I just used black mode, and it looks really cool. I have to give it props to DeviantArt for that, because that looks the new site changes. I really enjoy a lot. They made everything so much better to post. I think that's why I left originally, is because the posting system was really annoying and took way too long to filter and categorize things and put them into separate areas. So gave up. Yeah. I guess right now my only issue is I have no idea how to get seen on DeviantArt. I don't know if you're just, I don't even know if it even has an algorithm. I know people just post to a lot of groups, and those are little tiny communities where you can see your art on other people's galleries. But it's a bit annoying to find groups. Yeah, it's annoying to find groups that are still being run. And all the folders are not filled up. You want to talk about a more of a slow art platform? Yeah, DeviantArt is pretty much that. Tumblr's like second there. And Instagram, it just annoys me. It used to be decent at art stuff, but since they made all these changes, engagement's dead, and there's no way to fix it really. I think it's if you post the same thing multiple times, then you get shoved to the bottom, and if you don't post enough, you also get shoved to the bottom, which I know YouTube does the same thing, which is why my views ended up tanking, because I only post once a year on YouTube. I want you to post every other day. I used to also check artists on DeviantArt religiously. I used to follow a lot of comic artists on there. They had their little comics on DeviantArt. It's pretty cool. Actually, funny, a lot of the DeviantArt artists that I ended up following ended up becoming professional animators. Or they were rookie animators back at DeviantArt days, and now they work in the industry and work on like massive animation projects, and that's really cool. It's neat. It'd be like, hey, I know you. I used to follow you when I was a baby. Back when people used Flash.
It's so classic. 1, 2, 1. We keep up the fight but never get enough. I don't tell you how it feels. I just walk away assuming time will heal. Baby, I just wanna make sense of it all. I can't take the silence when you're gone.
I'm not surprised they delayed it. At least you get your cucumbers eventually.
All you'd have to do is just say so, say so. Picking battles, keeping score. I tried all the things I never would before. I know well that time won't bend. Watch it fade away as anger settles in. Baby, I just wanna make sense of it all. I can't take the silence when you're gone. I fall right back to you. All you'd have to do is just say so, say so. I know that I let you down. We could never turn back now. I don't wanna go, changing on my own. I know that I let you down. You could never love me now. Baby, don't you go, changing on your own.
don't need an antidote. Antidote. I don't need an antidote. Antidote. I don't need an antidote. Forever. We don't wanna drive slow. Drive slow. Speed up with our eyes closed. Eyes closed. Eyes closed. Eyes closed. Head down. Eyes closed. Ice cold. Meltdown.
Do I wanna know if this feeling flows both ways? Sad to see you go. Was sort of hoping that you'd stay. Baby, we both know that the nights were mainly made for saying things that you can't say tomorrow day. Crawling back to never thought of calling when She's a heartbreaker disguised as a pretty little face, yeah. She makes my heart ache when she lies and says she loves me anyway, yeah. When you're not around, I can't keep cool, so just stay now. It's safe and sound when I'm with you. Don't run away now. 'Cause baby, my what hang. Falling short breath, got my lungs cave. I'm a nuisance, and these blueprints prove right like Buddhists. Can't do my work right by those fences. Hands too close to where my pants is. Don't follow me, alright, and please don't bother me tonight. Hey, she's on one, I'm dripping, that's fucked up, I blossom. She's on one, I'm dripping, that's fucked up, I blossom.
Cause every day I feel the same. These thoughts are driving me insane. I know that hope will never change. Can't tell you about this fucking pain. All this fucking pain. Cause every day I feel the same. These thoughts are driving me insane. I know that hope will never change. Can't tell you about this fucking pain. All this fucking pain. Can you tell me where my love is? Am I missing something obvious? I keep running from my demons, running till I'm nauseous, till I find nowhere near her. And everywhere I turn I see her, I see her, and I feel it through my veins. She takes away the pain. Refuse à qui pourra imagem beau. Want me kick go cool, go cool.
You know, for a little kid, you're really strong. Thanks, Grandpa trained me to be like steel.
About time I sleep, about time I rest in peace. Cause every day I feel the same. These thoughts are driving me insane. I know that it will never change. Can't tell you about this fucking pain. All this fucking pain.
You seem to be down, and I don't see why. Is this something that I've done? I thought you were fine, now you don't wanna talk. Can you tell me what is wrong? I need to say to you, I don't understand. Yeah, I need to understand why you want so much space. Yeah, I need to understand why you're making that face. Drank too much, got the sickness. Pray to God and His Son for forgiveness. Same crew, but another mistress. Every day, every night, getting wasted. But I miss you. What did I do? Fuck it up, laugh it off, and I lost you. If I pull through, is it too soon? Turn it up, close my eyes, then I'm with you. Yo, Marvin, stop calling. Sad Iverson is balling in the corner of a room by himself. You ain't nothing but an too much, got the sickness. Pray to God in the sun for forgiveness. Same cool, but another mistress. Every day, every night, getting wasted. But I miss you, what did I do? Fuck it up, laugh it off, and I lost you. If I pull through, is it too soon? Turn it up, close my eyes, then I'm with you. Drank too much, got the sickness. Pray to God in the sun for forgiveness. Same crew, but another mistress. Every day, every night, getting wasted. But I miss you, what did I do? Fuck it up, laugh it off, and I lost you. If I pull through, is it too soon? Turn it up, close my eyes, then I'm with you.
They're taking my heart now. They're taking my heart now, and I don't know why. And I don't know why. Alright, 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 alright. The demons told me everything they whisper in the night. This is not a threat, a promise. A promise. This is not a threat, a promise. It's a warning, baby. I just want you to know. Soon as summer came in, when I'm falling in a drench, I'm behaving. I'm behaving myself. I'm behaving myself. You don't gotta die so soon, so I just behave for you, for you, for you. You don't gotta die so soon, so I just behave for you. This is not a threat, a promise. A promise. This is not a threat, a promise. It's a warning, baby. I just want you to know. Please just let me go. Let me go. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. I've seen enough. So let me ride, 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 ride away with you into the dark, into my heart. I'll follow you. Let me ride, 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 ride away with you. 'Cause all of my scars are broken inside, and I need you. So let me ride, 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 ride away with you into the dark, into my heart. I'll follow you. take me far away, somewhere I can rest my head? Can you take me far away from here? 'Cause I want to see the stars, but I can't do it alone. I want to see the stars with you. Can you take me far away, somewhere I can rest my head? Can you take me far away from here? 'Cause I want to see the stars, but I can't do it alone. I want to see the stars with you. Take me far away, somewhere I can rest my head. Can you take me far away from here? 'Cause I want to see the stars, but I can't do it alone. I want to see the stars with you. Can you take me far away, somewhere I can rest my head? Can you take me far away from here? 'Cause I want to see the stars, but I can't do it alone. I want to see the stars with you. Can you take me far away, somewhere I can rest my head? Can you take me far away from here? 'Cause I want to see the stars, but I can't do it alone. I want to see. Lose interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down you. Losing interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down you. Losing interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down you. Losing interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down you. Losing interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down you. Losing interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down you. Losing interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave, just let me know so I won't look down you. Losing interest, won't find a better than this. I swear, girl, if you leave.
I've had almost a year, so down on you. Take me back to the night we met. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, honey, but close to you. Take me
I'll make it right. Plant flowers in your heart. Take demons from your heart. I'll make it better. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. Make it right. Plant flowers in your heart. Take demons from your heart. I'll make it better. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. I'll wait for you. We'll make it right. Plant flowers in our hearts. Take demons from our heart. I'll make it better. This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole This is for my bone. This is for my bonus. Sexy ass from my whole
I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. So it's already 6, and I'm tired. I'll probably finish this tomorrow. Um, but yeah, thanks for watching my first stream in like 3 years, and the first time I'm talking live as well. Sorry for all the awkwardness. I'm not used to chatting. It was either this or text-to-speech, but I hate typing. Anyways, thanks for joining. Have a wonderful night, and goodbye.